Hi everyone, my name is Leah Barack. I'm a functional nutritionist with my master's degree in human nutrition and functional medicine. And today I'm going to be sharing an immune boosting recipe with you to help support your immune system. So immune health is really important all the time, but especially now with coronavirus going around and all of us trying to be as healthy as possible, it's important to make sure our diet is in check and we're consuming lots of foods that will help bolster our immune system. So every single ingredient in this recipe I created is designed to help improve your immune system, help modulate your immune system so that your health is in the best state possible and you're ready for anything that comes your way. So we're going to be making an immune boosting salad with an immune boosting dressing to go with it. And essentially when we're talking about immune boosting foods, we want to focus on a lot of plant foods. These plant foods have phytochemicals in them, which are anti-inflammatory, have nutrients, which are super important for overall health and immune health. And then we also want to think about gut health because 70 to 80% of our immune system is in our gut. So ensuring that we're making our gut happy, all those living microorganisms in our guts have enough food and fiber to have diversity and be there in adequate quantities and in adequate diversity, like I said. So fiber is super important for that, and then also diversity of the foods we're eating is really important for that as well. So this salad that we're going to be making has tons of different plant foods in it. It's super filling, delicious, high in fiber, and will certainly be a great addition to your diet. So we're going to actually start by making the dressing first. And when I make dressings, I actually like to save old jars. So this was just a salsa jar so that you can shake it up in there. And so we're gonna be having a base of olive oil. You do not need an olive oil this big. We go through a lot of olive oil here. But usually when I'm making a homemade dressing, I'll do a 2-to-1 ratio about of olive oil to whatever acid I'm using. So we're gonna be using lemon juice in this one. But usually like a 2-to-1 ratio. It could also be if you're using balsamic or apple cider vinegar, any of that is great. So I'm gonna just pour that directly in here. And when we're talking about immune health, we really want to focus on healthy fats. So olive oil is an excellent fat to add into the diet. It has polyphenols in it. Which are anti-inflammatory and great for gut health, great for brain health, all of that. So I love including olive oil in my diet. We're also going to be adding lemon, which is also great for the immune system because it's high in vitamin C. So we're also going to be adding the lemon zest, which is kind of a fun twist on this recipe. A lot of times people just juice their lemon, throw it out, but actually using the rind, we use more of the lemon, we're wasting less, and there's a lot of nutrients in the outer part of the lemon, and I think it tastes really great. So you can kind of use any kind of zester you have. I have this one right here. I'm just gonna zest a little bit in there, and you wanna make sure that you don't get the white part. And it smells amazing. I love putting lemon zest in baked goods, in salads, anything like that, just to add a little bit more pizzazz. And so we'll just put that right in here. And I'm gonna just cut the lemon in half, and then I have this handy tool here, which I love. It catches all of the lemon seeds in it, so we're gonna just put it right in there. This lemon's a little large for it, but I think it'll fit. And we'll just juice it right into our jar here. This makes it super easy. I always use this whenever I'm juicing lemons, even if I'm doing it like straight on a fish or chicken or anything like that. You get all of that fresh lemon juice. Okay, so next we're gonna be adding garlic. So garlic is so good for your health for so many reasons, especially your immune system. And using garlic, especially raw garlic, I tell people, is really, really great because when it's raw, it still has the compound called allicin, which gets destroyed in cooking, but that is super beneficial for health. So usually with garlic, I'll take one clove out, which you can kind of see there, cut off one end, take the side of my knife and just press it down so you can see it's just really crushed down there, and that makes it really easy to peel. So I'm gonna just peel it here. And then I'm gonna dice it into really, really small pieces. You could also use a garlic press here if you wanted to crush it, but we're gonna put it nice and small because it's gonna be in our dressing. And if you're blending your dressing or using like an immersion blender or something like that, you don't necessarily need to cut the garlic so small, but I'm gonna cut it small because I'm not gonna be using that. A fun fact about garlic also is that when you're using raw garlic, you want to actually let it sit for like 15 to 20 minutes if possible, because that's how long it takes for the enzyme to work to make that allicin, that beneficial compound, actually work and be activated, that enzyme. So I'm gonna just put this right in here. And if you aren't a huge raw garlic lover, you can also put the garlic in your dressing, let it sit for a little bit, and then you can actually strain it out if you want a little bit less intense of a flavor. I love garlic, so I'm gonna leave it in there for now. We're also gonna add some onion powder to the recipe. And let's see. I have a new onion powder here, which I haven't opened yet. Okay, so I'm just gonna put a couple little dabs in there. And then oregano and thyme are two spices that I love. They've been shown to actually decrease gut inflammation. They're anti-inflammatory, they're antioxidant. So I love including these in all of my recipes, but especially when I'm doing like a salad dressing or something like that. Super easy. Again, they just make it taste good. I always call herbs and spices nature's medicine cabinet because they have so many beneficial properties and it's so easy to include them. And you know, you can get creative with it, use different combinations, all of that. But in this one specifically, I use thyme and oregano. And then I'm also gonna put some black pepper in as well, just for taste. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of honey, of raw local honey. So with honey, you wanna make sure to get it raw. When you get honey from the supermarket, oftentimes it's pasteurized, so they heat it up and then it deactivates a lot of those beneficial compounds in honey. So honey itself is antifungal, antibacterial, great for your immune system. And it also, in terms of taste, can help offset some of that lemon flavor or whatever acid you're using in there. So I like to add just a little bit of sweetness. And we'll just put that right in there. And making your own salad dressing is definitely a game changer. A lot of the dressings that you'll get at the grocery store are loaded with unhealthy oils or even sugars or other additives that you just really don't want, and they're not as fresh. So when you make it from home, it can be way more fresh. You can control exactly what's in it, make it way healthier, all of that. And you can also do it in batches. So I like to make a lot and then just have it for the week, stick it in the fridge. And then just, you know, have it for recipes all week or salads. So you can kind of see this now. I'm just gonna let it sit and kind of let the oil diffuse and let that garlic flavor get in there and set it to the side. So now we're gonna work on our salads. So salads are great for gut health. This one in particular is loaded with diverse vegetables that your gut microbiome is going to love. It's loaded with fiber. It also has proteins. So a lot of salads are super boring, don't really have many ingredients. Honestly, not that appealing. I love to make really creative salads. It's one of my favorite things to eat, especially in the summer when it starts to heat up. So the base of the salad is going to be arugula. And arugula is super healthy. Not only is it high in fiber and folate, but it also has nitric oxide, which is a compound that actually helps dilate your blood vessels. So it can help if you have circulatory issues, anything like that. It also has vitamin K in there, tons of other vitamins, vitamin A, great for immune health. So I love including arugula. It's also really beneficial for detoxification. So it's a cruciferous vegetable, if you've heard of those, like broccoli, cauliflower, all of that. Really, really great for detoxing. So I always like to include arugula in my diet. We also have asparagus. It's asparagus season right now, which I'm very happy about. I love asparagus. And we're gonna include that in the salad for a variety of reasons also. But first, I'm gonna just show you a really quick tip. So the bottom of the asparagus, if you've ever had it, is really tough, and you usually wanna like cut it off. You don't really know where to cut. But someone showed me this trick and I love it. If you actually just break it naturally breaks where it's gonna be less tough. So I never actually cut off the end of an asparagus. I just kind of leave it as is, break it off, and then if I'm gonna cut it or something, I will. In this recipe, I'm actually going to peel it. So I like to do different things to vegetables, you know, because it gets kind of monotonous if you're eating them the same way all the time or just chopping them. So I'm just gonna thinly peel, and it just makes it a little more exciting, a little new, a little different than the other veggies that we have in there. Just some fun textural changes. And so asparagus is really, really great. Again, it's really high in fiber, but asparagus also has something called quercetin, which is a flavonoid that is antiviral. It's really great for your immune system. It's also a natural antihistamine, so if you have like seasonal allergies or anything like that, it can be very helpful. Quercetin also is something called a zinc ionophore, which is just a really fancy way of saying that it helps zinc come in and enter cells. So if you're eating foods that are high in zinc, which zinc is really great for your immune system as well, pairing it with a food that's high in quercetin can help you get, you know, the most bang for your buck with that. So I'm gonna just put this asparagus in the salad right here, set that aside. We also have red pepper. Red pepper is amazing. It actually has more vitamin C than an orange, which shocks a lot of people because you always think of orange, vitamin C, but red bell peppers have so much more, especially if you eat them raw. So we're gonna just dice this up here. And so when you cook foods, sometimes nutrients are lost, and sometimes other nutrients, like for instance in tomatoes, if you cook them, they're higher in lycopene, but with tomatoes and with vitamin C in general, vitamin C is excellent for your immune system. If you cook it, it actually decreases. So I like to eat an assortment of, you know, raw and cooked fruits and vegetables just to make sure I'm hitting all my bases. But definitely red pepper is one of those that I like to eat raw a lot as well. So I'm gonna just put that right on the salad. And then we have red onion as well, which we'll just thinly slice. And red onion also has that flavonoid I was talking about before, the quercetin, which is really good for your immune system, the natural antihistamine. So we're gonna just slice that nice and thinly. But onion also is really good for detoxification, and the gut microbiome loves it. So it's a really great prebiotic, which is just a food that feeds those microorganisms in your gut. So I love including raw onion as well as cooked, but again, just an assortment. And then also, so I usually will add some avocado. So again, we talked about olive oil, those healthy fats. Olive oil is a really healthy fat. It has monounsaturated fatty acids, and it has a lot of potassium as well, and potassium is missing in a lot of people's diets. So that can really help, again, with blood pressure issues, but it's a really, really healthy fat, great for gut health, great for immune health. Always like to include it. So usually I'll include avocado as well. And then quinoa, I'll throw on there also. So quinoa is not actually a grain, it's gluten-free, and it's called a pseudograin. So it's more of like a seed, but it's actually a complete protein. So it has all 9 amino acids. So usually, like if you're a vegetarian or a vegan, it's a great grain, pseudograin to include in your diet. And it's so easy to cook. You just put it with water for 15 minutes, boil it, done. Throw that on the salad. It's an excellent addition. And then with the quinoa, I'll also add black beans. So just canned black beans, super affordable, super easy to get. You want to make sure to rinse it. So I'll just put it in a strainer, rinse it, rinse water over it, just to get that liquid off. And then also if it's packaged in salt, that can help lower the salt intake because you're kind of rinsing off all the salt that they put in there. So usually I'll add the black beans and the quinoa, and then here's the salad here. Beautiful, all those colors, all those phytonutrients, which will help with your immune health. We'll go ahead and add the salad dressing and then enjoy. So thank you so much for coming along with me on this ride to make this immune boosting salad. I hope you like it and I hope you make it at home.